Unlock your dream property with Meeks Realty Group, where Rich the Realtor makes real estate dreams a reality. Whether it's residential or commercial, we've got Charleston to Huntington covered. Your key to exceptional real estate experiences start here. Meeks Realty Group. Contact us at meeks.us.
The views and opinions expressed on this program do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of 580 WCHS, its employees, or WVRC Media. From the studios of WVRC Media, the country, the United States of America, the state, West Virginia, the city, Charleston. This is the Dave Allen Show on 580 Live. And your host.
What we've got here is failure to communicate.
He's kind of a big deal.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass, and I'm all out of bubblegum.
Dave Allen.
Hey, folks, good Tuesday morning to you, and welcome to the show. Ryan Nicholson, the senior producer, is across the hall doing his magic this morning. Bigly, Piggly, Wiggly hotline, 304-345-5858. Tony Taylor text, 304-935-5008. Dave Allen Show on 580 Live, brought to you by Thornhill Auto Group. Your next ride and your next service can be found on US 119 from Chapmanville to Logan to Belfry, Kentucky. Start your drive online at thornhillautomotive.com. We do the show from the Par-Mar Store studio. If there's not a Par-Mar store near you now, there will be soon. Phone calls to the show, a service of Bigly, Piggly, Wiggly, Spring Street, Charleston. Texting services provided by West Virginia's finest men's store, Tony the Tailor, Virginia Street in Charleston. Visit bestmastertailor.com. Coming up a little bit later on the show, State Democratic Party Chair and Delegate Mike Pushkin is here. Should be interesting to talk to Mr. Pushkin now that the Trump and Morrissey administrations are on full go mode. Talk to him about that. Plus, Terrell Ellis from Advantage Valley is here. They are out with their report called the Advantage Valley Report, oddly enough, which in their words showcases progress, partnerships, and economic opportunities in the Advantage Valley region stretching from Charleston to Huntington. All that in your calls and texts are always welcome too. Again, Bigly, Piggly, Wiggly hotline 304-345-5858. Tony the Tailor text 304-935-5008. Want to have a little animal talk to start us off this morning. Our good friend Robert Porter Wagner from the Pick of the Litter Rescue Group is here. Good morning, sir. Welcome back to the show.
Good morning. Good to be back.
Thank you for being here this morning, man. We got lots to talk about here. I'm looking at the event that you have over Saturday. I think the last time you and I were talking, last time you were here was push your Christmas pictures that you do with
right,
pets.
Just before Christmas.
And now it's Valentine's. Always something over at Green's Feed and Seed, which is at 314 Piedmont Road here in Charleston. Tell us about this event.
Well, it's for Valentine's, and it's called a fundraiser. We're trying to raise money again for the rescue. We're going to have a professional photographer there again. They're going to have 2 5x7 photographs. They're about $14, and it's mostly for pets. We'll take a picture of the pet. You can be in the picture if you want, and we'll give it to you. And you also get the digital copy also. Yeah. And we're going to have some baked goods there, so you can purchase those. They're for animals, of course.
Okay,
they're doggy biscuits or cat biscuits.
Nothing for the humans, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, you can eat them if you want. They're okay.
Hell, you wouldn't advise that, but go ahead.
But we're also going to have some special furry guests that are going to be there. It's going to be a surprise. Okay. So they'll be there, so you can check them out.
Okay, you got me intrigued on that.
They're going to be there in a little playpen.
Okay, all right.
You can see them.
And things start at what time?
It starts at 11 and will run until 3 p.m.
Till 3 p.m.
It's the same place we had the photo shoot for Christmas.
Yeah.
Exact same place. And you can also drop off donations, supplies, or cash, because we are a 501c3 nonprofit organization. And if you need a tax receipt for your tax deduction, we'll provide that.
Let's talk about the popularity of doing these photo shoots for Christmas and for Valentine's. I've seen people have done them for their pets that couldn't go on vacation with them. They've done. Right. I've seen groups that have done like beach photos or vacation, back to school photos for pets and things of that nature. This has really become a big deal.
It really is. For Christmas, a lot of people took the picture of their animals and made their own Christmas card. Mm-hmm. And as a matter of fact, the very first pet that showed up for Christmas was a goat.
A goat?
It was a goat. It was hilarious.
Okay, all right. So now how hard is it to get a goat to pose for the picture?
This was a pretty tame goat. Okay. Didn't sit on the lap.
Okay.
Just kind of stood, but it was really a pretty tame goat. It was really domesticated. It was a lot of fun.
And when you think about these things, you do think of, obviously, dogs come to mind. I'm a cat guy, and so cats can be a little bit difficult at times, although ours are actually pretty good. But exotic pets are welcome. I mean, goats,
sure, absolutely.
Snakes.
If we'll try it. We'll give it a shot.
Okay, all right.
We actually had a few kittens that showed up for Christmas, so they were kind of cute.
Okay. And again, this is happening over at Green's Feed and Seed
Yes.
this coming Saturday, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Do people need to schedule an appointment, or they just show up?
Pop in. Just go down to Green's Feed and go shopping and get your picture taken, or come get your picture taken, then go shopping.
Whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes.
Talk about the Pick of the Litter Rescue Group. I mean, you guys, I've had you on the show before for your various things. Talk about the whole mission of the Pick of the Litter.
The whole mission is that it's in the name, the Pick of the Litter. We concentrate and specialize in kittens, puppies, or newborns. We won't turn away an adult dog, but we are foster-based, so we don't actually have kennels. So when we get a call for an animal that needs help, we have to find a foster. Mm-hmm. In the case of currently, which I want to apologize that Kristen couldn't make it today. She was wanting to come, but we recently acquired 5, and they're currently 8-day-old puppies from the shelter where mom was medically unable to care for them. So they need help 24/7. Yeah. So that's our current project, and they have to be tube fed, and we really desperately need all the help we can get with them. As of last year, I have the numbers here. We rescued 201 total animals, and 113 dogs and 88 cats and kittens. And we currently have 14 in foster right now that obviously need homes.
Talking to Porter Wagner again from the Pick of the Litter Animal Rescue Group about this big event that's happening this Saturday over at Green's Feed and Seed. Your Valentine's pictures, you can get those with your pets from 11 to 3. The Dave Allen Show on 580 Live, brought to you in part by Husson's Pizza. It's heart-shaped pizza time. Speaking of Valentine's, order your 14-inch, one-topping heart-shaped pizza anytime this month for only $14. Dine-in, carry-out, or delivery. Find your nearest Husson's at HussonsPizza.com. I want us to talk a little bit about the foster system, Porter, because every Friday I have on Hannah Gardner from the Kanawha Charleston Humane Association with our Adopt Me Please Pet of the Week. I think it's really interesting, and I always try to bring this up with Hannah, that fostering is a great way that you can help out the animal shelters and other groups. It's not just about adopting. Sometimes the fosters in this situation, like with this medical emergency that you mentioned, can be almost more important than what the adoptions can be.
Right. The shelter is, all shelters across the country are absolutely, literally overflowing. And if you have an animal that needs medical attention or special needs, maybe it was abused, and it just doesn't quite get along with the group, so this way they get special attention. And it applies to any animal, even the ones that do get along. They just get out of the shelter and get into a more of a family-oriented home, and they do so much better. And, of course, fosters always have first choice if they decide to adopt.
Right. Got a text here for you. It says, it says, for the guest, we have 2 strays that I think need fixed. Do you know of any reduced or free spay and neuters right now?
Just up at the location of the animal shelter on the first floor is a place called Fix Charleston, and they do low-cost neutering.
Okay.
And then there's what's the other one? Up on Greenbrier Hill, there's another one.
Okay. Well, and by the way, if anybody's listening that knows of those, feel free to text me or call Ryan or something.
But they do a really good job. It's low cost.
There was one, I think, a few years ago, I know was doing a lot of work in the Barbersville area, too. So there are a few. We'll try to get those out to the people. And please, for goodness sakes, folks, get your pets spayed or neutered.
Right,
I mean, I just sound like the late Bob Barker or Drew Carey here. But
they're literally overrun. In the case of the 5 pups that we have, mom delivered literally as she came in the door.
Wow.
And she was weak and young.
Yeah.
And that's why she lost the first 4.
Okay.
Within 1 day.
All right. They could use all the help. What if somebody just wants to stop by and make a donation? I'm sure you'll accept that.
Absolutely. You want to stop by Green's Feed and give a donation, or you can go to the shelter too. We work hand in hand.
Yeah, I mean, we got a great group of people here in the Kanawha Valley area that do a lot of great things for our animals. They really do.
I think, I mean, you can go up to the shelter and get a dog and take it for a ride, and then go down the boulevard and walk it. You know, you get a day trip.
Just get them out of there.
Right, you don't even have to keep it overnight.
Yeah, just on a. We've had some beautiful weather yesterday here in Charleston. It would be a great time just to go. Wouldn't hurt all of us adults, and as humans to get out of the house a little bit too, to walk off some of the holiday and winter pounds. But that's a great idea. Go pick up a dog and just take her for a walk.
Take it for a car ride.
I'm sure. Oh, somebody texted in and said it's called Fix 'em.
Fix them, that's right. Fix them. I had a mental block there.
Greatest listeners in the world.
Fix them is up here on top of Greenbrier Hill, but they do a job too. They do a good job.
Text says citizens need to unite to demand that West Virginia actually enforce and even strengthen animal abuse and neglect charges. People have got to start being punished for the evil done to innocent animals. No argument here.
Amen to that.
I mean, you're preaching to the proverbial choir here with me and Porter. All right, let's wrap it up here. Valentine's fundraiser, you're calling it, this Saturday, 11 a.m. till 3 p.m. Greed's Feed and Seed, 314 Piedmont Road in Charleston. You got some special friends that are going to be joining you there. You got delicious homemade baked goodies. It says your flyer says treats for the whole family, including the fur
That's
babies.
right. Yeah, we're going to have. I think we're going to have some cupcakes for people.
Okay, and of course, all the proceeds and donations benefit the Pick of the Litter Animal Rescue, and you guys do a great job with your social media. So if you need any more information, I've got information posted about it on my social media and Dave Allen Radio, and I've also got you also do a great job with your Facebook page as well because you have so many activities. We only highlight the big ones a couple times a year, but you got activities going on every day.
We try. We really try.
All right, Porter, you guys are doing great work, man. Thanks a lot. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Hang out with me here just 1 second. Again, the event is at the Greens Feed and Seed, 314 Piedmont Road in Charleston this Saturday, 11 a.m. till 3 p.m. If you need more information, the website is pickofthelitterwv.com. It's www.pickofthelitterwv.com. And you can check out the Pick of the Litter Animal Rescue page on Facebook as well. Special Olympics embodies the true spirit of sportsmanship, not merely about winning medals, but about being a part of a team, practicing and competing together. The joy and fulfillment derived from these experiences are immeasurable as athletes find their confidence and self-worth through the shared pursuit of victory. West Virginia Enriched, in collaboration with Huntington, invites you to witness the transformative power of Special Olympics. Check out a video highlighting the Special Olympics, facebook.com/580 WCHS. Biggly Piggly Wiggly hotline 304-345-5858. Tony Taylor text 304-935-5008. State Democratic Party Chair and Delegate Mike Pushkin coming up a little bit later on in the show. And next, Terrell Ellis of the group Advantage Valley. Back after this on the Voice of Charleston, WCHS.
Brought to you by the Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses. Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses care for your family.
No matter where you are never far from a Parmar store. From gas to groceries and everything else you need, your local Parmar store has it. Sign up for the Parmar Rewards Card and download the Parmar Stores app for even more savings. With well over 230 stores in 6 states, you are never far from Parmar. Visit parmarstores.com and follow them on your favorite social media app. If there's not a Parmar store near you now, there will be soon.
Banking is not just about numbers. It's about people. Are you connected? Without a community bank, your financial journey might feel lonely. And who will you turn to when life gets complicated? From checking accounts to loans, Poca Valley Bank has you covered. We're here to support you with personalized service and genuine care across our 8 locations. Poca Valley Bank, your community bank where relationships matter. Visit PocaValleyBank.com for more information. Equal housing lender. Member FDIC.
You only have so many vacation days each year, but there's an entire planet of destinations to choose from. Narrow your search with Rudy Max's World with the Carries. From historical landmarks to major tourist centers to the wonders of nature, this show provides timely advice on the ever-changing landscape of international travel. Explore the Earth with Rudy Max's World, Saturdays at 1 on the Voice of Charleston, 580 WCHS.
It is 9:21. Ryan Nicholson is our producer today. The Dave Allen Show and 580 Live, brought to you in part by Live Healthy, West Virginia, presented by WVU Medicine. Live Healthy tackles pressing health issues, heart disease, diabetes, Alzheimer's, and RSV. It's a podcast. offering insights into medical breakthroughs, preventative care, featuring WVU Medicine's expert physicians aimed at fostering healthier lifestyles and beyond the state. Great resource. Check out the latest episodes, WVMetronews.com, under the podcast menu, and start your journey towards better health today. Biggly, Piggly, Wiggly hotline 304-345-5858. Tony Taylor text 304-935-5008. State Democratic Party Chair and Delegate Mike Pushkin coming up a little bit later on the show. Coming up on tomorrow's show, Julie Robinson from the West Virginia Nursery and Landscape Association will join us to talk about their Winter Symposium, which is coming up 1 week from today, actually, at Embassy Suites in Charleston. Also on the show tomorrow, we're going to spend a little time talking about the Night to Shine prom, which is going to be this Friday night at Capitol High School. This was the prom, and you've heard us talk about it several times. Our friends across the hall at V100 are a big part of this. This was a prom for special needs folks. And it's really going to be a big deal. Only a couple days left. We've been talking about this thing for several months, but only a couple days left. We'll talk to Courtney from that group. And also on the show tomorrow, Rick Cavender, the president of the Kanawha County Board of Education, will be here. They have a search ongoing for a new superintendent in Kanawha County Schools. Matter of fact, I think they had a meeting scheduled for like 8 or 8:30, I think, this morning, going on as we speak. So we'll talk to Rick about that coming up on tomorrow's show. And as always, your calls and texts are welcome too. Terrell Ellis from Advantage Valley stopped by the studio this morning. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for being here. For those, you've been on the show in the past, Terrell, but for those who don't know, what is the whole mission statement? What is Advantage Valley?
So our mission really is to promote investment in the Charleston and Huntington metro areas combined, because we all know that people live in the surrounding counties from Charleston to Huntington and commute regularly within the region. So we really operate as one regional economy. So we market it to outside investors. That would be businesses trying to find locations, new locations to locate, residential developers. We're really getting into working with them as well. To look at this region as a place to invest in a large metro area, because our population for those combined areas is 650,000 people. So when you go out to the world and you're telling the world, hey, this is a place with 650,000 people, the most populated region in West Virginia, it does make a difference. It starts to make people stand up and listen a little
I'm
bit.
a big believer in this whole concept, and I'm somebody, as listeners know, I talk about it, that I live directly in the middle because I live in Putnam County, and I'm exactly halfway between Huntington and Charleston, pretty much. And I'm a big believer in this concept, because it's a no-brainer to try to get people to want to come in here to say, okay, we've got these individual communities. I mean, we think Huntington and Charleston, but we also think South Charleston, St. Albans, Winfield, Hurricane, Barboursville, Milton. That big area, 650,000?
650,000 for the two metro areas combined.
Right.
We also include Jackson and Mason County in our footprint because there are some very large investments occurring in those counties, as you know, Nucor and TIMET and Berkshire Hathaway Renewable Energy. And, people are living in Kanawha County. They're driving to Jackson County to work. People are living in Kanawha and driving to Mason, quite frankly, as well as the other counties. But when you're living in Putnam County, you're 30 minutes from Nucor's facility. Mm-hmm. So it's really a great time to be marketing our region.
It is indeed. Again, we're talking with Terrell Ellis of Advantage Valley. And now that we've gotten, I-64 is now open, that stretch that the construction went for 78 years, I think, on it to try to get it finished. But they got it finished. And the upgrades to 35 and all this other stuff. I mean, the roads ain't perfect, especially in the middle of winter. Right. But there's still that's got to be a big part of it as well. That expansion on 64 is huge.
Oh, it's like such clear sailing now.
Yeah.
It's really cut down on a lot of the commuting time.
All right, so you're out with your annual report. Let's talk about that.
Right. So, this year, our annual report, we had a theme of being under construction. That's the theme of and if you want to see our annual report, go to our website. It's advantagevalley.com, and you'll find it there. Because we felt like we wanted to highlight all of and we didn't really highlight all of them because there wasn't room, but we highlighted some of the key new investments that are happening in the region that are truly under construction. So facilities like Nucor, which we've all heard a lot about, but actually in Huntington, the Marshall Institute for Cybersecurity, and there's a whole innovation district that's being built on 4th Avenue. TIMET in Jackson County, which is actually going to be the only solar-powered titanium production facility in the world. And it is being powered by that microgrid that Berkshire Hathaway is building there on 2,000 acres. Here in Charleston, we've got the Lift Center that's under construction. That's the conversion of the old Kanawha manufacturing facility into a research and food development kind of facility. And housing, we're starting to see housing take off. You know, last year we completed a housing assessment of the housing needs in the region, and we identified that there were, over the next 5 years, 20,000 new housing units that were needed to meet the current demand and the projected demand by all these new jobs coming in.
And I think that's very important that we say that, I'll jump in here 1 second, that 20,000 are needed for what's already here.
For what's already here plus projected. Projected new jobs, because we projected with all these new investments, there were going to be about 5,000 new jobs over the next 5 years. And then, you know, for every manufacturing job, and those are manufacturing jobs, for every manufacturing job, there's a spinoff of a number of indirect jobs.
Oh, yeah. We used to say in the coal industry, when I did a lot of work with the coal industry, that it all depended on which metric you use. But for every coal mining job, it was approximately 7 to 10 other ancillary jobs that come along with that.
That's right. And we actually cut back on it's about the same for manufacturing, and we cut back on that estimate because the number was so big. So we were trying to be conservative. But be that as it may, that identified a need for 11,000 new rental units, 11,000 rental units and about 10,000 new residential for sale housing, single family home units. So we're tracking housing. And, you know, you talked about Putnam County. Putnam does sit in the middle of all these new investments, and it's got a great school system. And so obviously it becomes one of the locations of choice that people are choosing to live. And we've seen now announcements of large scale residential development. So we were tracking in our annual report, we tracked in 2024 that over 700 new housing units were either permitted or under construction in the region. And that is due in large part to the fact that people see that report that we did and they understand the housing demand and the opportunity. So every year we're going to be tracking to benchmark ourselves to see how much housing we're developing to meet that demand. We started off 2025 with a bang in Putnam County, announcing 600 new units for Putnam County. That was recently announced in January. So as we were trying to set up this, I told you, I have to be back in my office at 10.
I'm going to get you out of here.
I have a call with a potential residential developer for the region who's very interested in looking at doing something here. So anyway, we're excited about all that residential development. So these are some of the things that are under construction here that are very exciting. And I want to mention, too, under construction is a project that Advantage Valley has taken on that's very new to us. We are getting in the real estate development business. We have purchased property in Putnam County. It's a large industrial property that's been sitting vacant for years. It was formerly known as the Voslo Track Building, just outside of Poca. And we have, through a series of federal grants and state loans, we're rehabbing that, and we're going to put it back into productive use as an industrial space.
What do you have? Is it too early to say what you want it to be, or is it just an industrial space? It's
going to be industrial space that we will lease, because one of the challenges we do have is finding shovel-ready industrial sites. So we talk to a lot of manufacturers that are interested in coming here. We don't always have the shovel-ready land or the ready buildings for them to move into, and they're on a tight time frame. So if we can't meet their time frame, they move on to another location. So we want to have a facility that's ready to go that can be easily leased.
Talking to Terrell Ellis again of Advantage Valley, the Dave Allen Show on 580 Live, brought to you in part by your hometown baseball team, the Charleston Dirty Birds. Wintertime now, but we're going to be playing baseball here before you know it over at Gomart Ballpark. Check out the 2025 Dirty Birds schedule, plus Birds merch and more at dirtybirdsbaseball.com. What else came away from this study? What else did you find?
Well, if you don't mind, I'd like to switch gears for a minute.
Switch away
to childcare.
Okay.
Because, you know, as great as all of these new jobs are that are coming into the region, we need to make sure that our region and our communities are ready with the community infrastructure to support the employers and the employees so that we have a workforce that can go to work. And so we have identified, in addition to housing, because housing was identified as a challenge for employees to be locating near the employers. in addition to housing, childcare and transportation as two other issues where we think that there's a lot of room for improvement in what we have here. In our region, we've identified that there are about 5,300 childcare slots, that we have a deficit of 5,300 childcare slots, meaning not enough slots available for 5,300 kids. And that's going to impact parents' ability to go to work. So I think in maybe today's paper, there was an article, an announcement about the state of West Virginia partnering with a company called Wagner School that works with helping to develop new childcare programs in communities. We are partnering with them in our communities, and we are going to be holding a series of workshops to help people understand how they can get started opening a childcare business. And we will provide business coaching, technical assistance, mini grants, and loan funds, if needed, for new childcare startups. Now, these could be anybody from somebody wanting to open a childcare business in their home to a full-scale center. But we are really putting a focus in 2025 on trying to develop more childcare in this area. It's desperately needed. It's been talked about a lot, and it's not just a problem here. It's across the state and, frankly, across the country.
And this is one of those things, and we'll do this because I know you got to get on that call. We'll wrap you up. One of the things, though, you mentioned schools when some of these companies look at coming in here. That's very important. But probably secondarily, is the child care issue. That's what they look at.
Well, it sure is, and even to the point that some of the companies are looking at starting their own child care facilities in order to retain and grow their workforce. So we understand that's an issue. We're also working on transportation issues as well. But there's a lot of excitement in the region. There's a lot of opportunity. We run an entrepreneurial development program. Last year we helped 30 new businesses get started. That created about 60, almost 70 new jobs in the region. These are small businesses, small numbers of jobs. And so they don't get the headlines, but that's really the kind of grassroots economic development that is so positive for your community. Plus, we put a very big focus on helping to retain our existing manufacturing base, and that's a whole nother program we have.
We'll have you
and
back.
A whole nother conversation.
And I know that the legislature is going to gavel in next week a little later this year because of the gubernatorial. And I know you guys are always a big part of what's going on under the dome too. I mean, talking to people, talking to legislators and whatnot.
Yeah, we really try to make people aware of the issues we're experiencing here in the region. We kind of feel like we're a bit of a bellwether for what's happening in the state. Mm-hmm. So, we appreciate whatever the state can do to help support us in our endeavors, and we're willing to step up, like our partnership with the Small Business Development Center and Wagner School, to help make things better here in the state.
Give us the website again.
It's www.advantagevalley.com.
All right, Cheryl, it's always a pleasure to have you on the show. I appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
Told you I'd get you out of here for that call. All right,
so
we'll get you out of here. Hang out with me, though, here 1 second. The Dave Allen Show on 580 Live is brought to you in part by Pinnacle Consultants. Pinnacle offers a 4-phase assessment for your properties, inspection, sampling, and analysis. Comprehensive reporting and management planning. Visit pinnaclecorp.net because what you don't know can hurt you. Bigley, Piggly, Wiggly, hotline 304-345-5858. Tony V. Taylor, text 304-935-5008. State Democratic Party Chair and Delegate Mike Pushkin on the way next. Back after this on the Voice of Charleston, WCHS.
Brought to you by the Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses. Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses have been creating jobs in West Virginia since 1997.
For your build or restoration, always count on us. Professional service and dedication. Charity's the name to trust. Saving you more, saving you time. Providing quality building and design. Right on time, right on budget. Call on Charity Construction.
Injured? Call Morgan & Morgan. We'll always be here for the people, not the powerful. We'll always be here for you.
Office 222 Capitol Street, Charleston. Cases will be handled by West Virginia licensed attorneys. The attorney in this ad is not licensed in West Virginia. ForThePeople.com.
Join Mark Patrick Seminars. Lose the weight or stop smoking guaranteed. Early bird special only $49.99. Seminar Sunday, February 16th at the Holiday Inn and Suites in South Charleston. Weight loss seminar starts at 11 a.m. Stop smoking starts at 2 p.m.
Reds baseball on 580 WCHS.
Carson Spires is with us here. Hey, thanks for coming to West Virginia. Is this your first time in West Virginia?
It is, but it looks like there's a hunting and fishing convention over there,
Buddy,
so I might be staying
let me
a little
tell
bit
you,
longer.
you need to go over there.
I truly might if we have time before getting back on the bus.
Now, we got a guy over there who's our outdoors guy named Chris Lawrence.
Well,
he's large and in charge over there, so you got to go. He'll take care of you.
Find the Reds broadcast schedule at WCHSnetwork.com/sports.
24 minutes away from 10, Piggly Wiggly hotline, 304-345-5858. Tony Taylor text, 304-935-500. Ryan Nicholson is our producer today. The Dave Allen Show on 580 Live, brought to you in part by Meeks Realty Group. Looking to buy or sell? Meeks has you covered from residential to commercial. Trust Rich the Realtor, one of the area's premier real estate teams, to guide every step of the way for you. Meeks Realty Group, where your dreams find their home. Call them today, 304-932-7488, or email R. Klein, that's Klein with a K, at meeksrealtygroup.com. Text says, why do people assume that all moms want to go to work? Childcare expansion is not the answer. Population growth is the correct way to gain workers. Turning all children over to childcare facilities is not an appropriate answer. It will have long-term negative consequences, says a texter. Well, the only thing I would say to that is that 50% of all marriages end in divorce. So there's a lot of single parents out there, moms and dads. You want to opine on that, Pushkin?
I didn't know I was on the air yet. I would say that, in a perfect world, if we're living in the land of Leave It to Beaver, that might be a decent answer. And if we were living in that world that never really existed, the fact of the matter is, even when mom and dad stay together, unfortunately, a lot of times they need two incomes to make ends meet, and childcare is an economic driver. And that's why I was so disturbed to see these childcare block grants on the chopping block last week when President Trump was throwing out all these different memos from the White House of what was going to be frozen and what was no longer going to be paid for. And we're still in a state of chaos over this. I just think it's been complete rule by chaos, and just to try to confuse the crap out of everybody. But I was concerned to see the Head Start was on the chopping block, the child care block grants, school lunch programs, a lot of things that a lot of kids in West Virginia and a lot of their parents rely on. So I'm concerned. I just jumped right into the show.
But I did want to start off on something.
I didn't get to say good morning yet.
Hi, how you doing?
Hey, good morning.
He came in here this morning and was saying that he's no longer wearing his glasses because when you were on for the Jewish Christmas Spectacular, someone talked about how much we looked alike.
Yeah.
And so now you've gotten rid of the glasses.
Right? I'm trying contact lenses just so people can just, for the benefit of the public who has a hard time figuring out which one of us is which.
Yeah.
I'm the one without the glasses.
Okay, well, that's not going to happen with me. So before we get into anything else, and I've already got a ton of text here waiting on you, as we always do, and we'll beat each other up a little bit. But I do want to say Sunday night was a great night for a Charleston native and your good friend Sierra Farrell. 4 Grammys.
Oh, man, I was so proud to see that, and it was so well deserved. And this is not just an overnight success. She has been working at her craft for a long time. I know. And she was born with just this, God-given talent with her voice, the incredible range she has. She just has such, I think, the best voice on the planet. But also she has the ability to just captivate an audience with her live performances. And something that a lot of artists, even a lot of Grammy-winning artists don't have, and that's this genius songwriting ability. Mm-hmm. I mean, the vast majority of the songs that on her albums she wrote and wrote by herself. I mean, she had a couple co-writers and won a Grammy for one of the songs that she co-wrote on the last album. But the majority of her songs she writes.
Yeah, and she's from right here in Charleston.
Yeah.
Performed with you numerous times. Been on this show, as a matter of fact, when she was at Live on the Levee a couple of years ago. So she's a fantastic performer. Yeah. I was happy to see it. All right, let me knock out some text here before we get into. We got a lot of stuff I want to get into. Text says, Dave, America has turned their backs on our allies, and I told you about the trade wars hurting our coal industry. Says the texter.
Well, yesterday was an interesting day because you had all this bluster about these trade wars with our biggest trade partners in Canada and Mexico, and then all of a sudden, the stock market just tanked over it, and then all of a sudden it was like, oh, trade war's off because we've got what we want. Well, they were already doing
Just kidding.
They were already doing the things that they were being asked to do about troops at the border. They already do this. So
they already had the troops at the border?
To me, yes.
The 10,000 troops?
They've already agreed to that. That was stuff that was already in place. It was negotiated before. Okay? So to me, was just very performative. Meanwhile, you got the richest man in the world who now has control over the U.S. Treasury. I think it was a diversion tactic to get. Look at this shiny object over here while we give Elon Musk access to everybody's personal information here at the U.S. Treasury Department.
But isn't that kind of? And we've learned since Donald Trump has been in a position of power, even when he wasn't in the White House. Isn't this kind of what Trump does? I mean,
unfortunately, yes.
He frequently says outrageous things that he's not going to do. He does. He tells a lot of lies, or he may say, well, it's just a diversion to throw things out there that he has no intention of carrying out. He knows aren't legal, but just to kind of maybe create a diversion to move on to something else.
Yeah, and that's why we really need to choose the battles that we're fighting here, because there's so many battles to choose from. I'm really concerned about what went on last week with the executive order on the spending freeze on like projects like the hydrogen hub in West Virginia that I think most Republicans I know were very much in favor of, including Shelley Moore Capito. She was a champion of that. Now she's strangely silent on this issue now that the project is completely in limbo because Trump doesn't want anyone else to have any credit for anything good. But there was a lot of investment going into our state, not just the hydrogen hub, a lot of investment through the Inflation Reduction Act, through the infrastructure bill that he could never get passed. He could never get. He had an infrastructure week every other week. He had infrastructure cookouts, but he didn't have an infrastructure
I didn't get an invite.
bill. I wasn't invited either, but he didn't get an infrastructure bill that we got under the previous administration, and that created a lot of investment into West Virginia and the American Rescue Plan and other bills. That's what he froze. The spending from these bills because he doesn't get any credit for it, but it's hurting West Virginia. That project would have hired a lot of West Virginia workers, and now it's in complete limbo. And where's Congresswoman Capito, who was a champion of? Where's our new senator? I don't know if he's even in Washington D.C. And I'll be honest, where's our attorney general? He should be joining the other states that are suing this over this unconstitutional spending freeze. On projects that were already passed by Congress. Congress has the power of the purse. It's unconstitutional. So where is the Attorney General? Where's our governor? Why isn't he fighting for West Virginia?
I think people are stopping, and I'm not defending anybody, Mike, but I think what's happening is that they're saying, okay, well, this may be overturned in court. Let's just pause. I don't necessarily agree with that myself, but that could be
Well, if it's going to be overturned in court, it's because several states are leading the charge, and our state, who's disproportionately hurt by it, we should have an Attorney General that fights for our state, not fight for a front row ticket at a Trump rally.
Text says, Trump's Canada negotiating. Listen, I'll shoot us both in the foot if you don't do what you've already planned in December to do. MAGAs are the biggest dupes. Good thing about Trump's idiocy is it's an opportunity for learning. I learned that the U.S. food production completely relies on Canadian potash to grow produce, and feed for livestock. Canada has U.S. agriculture by the blanks. Let's see Trump play tough and Canada respond with tariffs, limits on imports, etc.
Well, I'd say it was a whole lot of bluster yesterday over that to distract us from what's really going on. Canada agreed to something they were already doing. Mexico agreed to something they were already doing. And what it did do, it caused a lot of great uncertainty in the world markets, and a lot of people were a little bit concerned when they were looking at their retirement funds yesterday.
Text says, if Trump has his way, there won't be a solar-powered titanium facility. I bet Nucor is trying to shore up funding so they don't have to abandon an in-progress construction site, says the texter. The Dave Allen Show on 580 Live brought to you part by Morgan & Morgan. If you're injured, hire Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm. Text says, government-subsidized child care services are most certainly on the chopping block. The majority want that. I'm going to probably say that's a hard no.
I would say the majority does not want. The majority of working families rely on that, And it is it's an economic issue that drives other economic issues. If people aren't able to get to work, we're going to have an even worse workforce participation rate than we already have. And right now, West Virginia has the worst workforce participation rate. So, yeah, that subsidy helps keep the gears moving. That's what moves everything else.
Tex says, if Trump is such a big issue, why aren't the Democrats doing anything? And if they are, why aren't they saying anything? Pushkin talks about so many battles, but there's no battle if the Democrats don't fight.
The Democrats are fighting, and we spent the weekend reorganizing the party.
Yeah, you get yourself a new party head.
Are
you good person? You for that?
He is an excellent person. He was definitely the best choice for that job. And Ken Martin from Minnesota, he's a workhorse, not a show horse, and he is. I call him the organizer in chief. And he is going to help rebuild this party from the grassroots up. But that's what we spent the weekend doing, was actually having, debates and elections and actually being democratic.
Were you part of that? Were you there?
Yeah, I'm a member. As the chair of the West Virginia Democratic Party, I'm also an automatic member of the DNC. So it was an honor to take part in that. But we, in democracy with a little d, it can be messy. It took a long time because we were actually giving everybody a fair share at different offices. Meanwhile, on the other side, I believe President Trump hands the Republican Party a slate and said, this is running the RNC. His family. He handed the RNC over to his family. And we're actually having elections. And it took a while, but I think we came out with a great slate of officers, led by Ken Martin, who is going to turn this thing around.
Tex says Trump's chaos is a smokescreen for the unelected billionaire Elon Musk raiding of the Treasury Department. I remember Republicans being up in arms about unelected billionaires running the government during the last administration. If Republicans didn't have double standards, they wouldn't have any standards at all.
I couldn't agree more. I think that's what we really need to be paying attention to, is how much power they're handing over to this, this billionaire of the tech industry, Elon Musk. It's scary.
Tex says the synchronized conservative anger media, also known as scam, will rot your brain. We already have evidence. Shelley Capito says the texter is scared of being primaried by the tech bros if she goes against their dear leader. She needs the government paycheck and insider trading info to increase her wealth. Okay, I could have probably not read that last part.
What was the last part?
I'm not going to get into that. That's a very accusatory.
I would say that she's also interested in let's say this, she's interested in who gets that appointment to be the U.S. Attorney for the Southern District.
She does. I think
she has an interest in that.
Possibly. Text says, hold on a second. Okay, I already read that one. Please don't send me the text twice. Text says, Dave, Florida guy here. Every time Mike Pushkin's on the radio, he has the BMW disease, not the car. Bellyache, moan, and whine. BMW.
How are things down in Florida? He should call in sometime so we can get hear how nice it is. It's awful nice here in West Virginia today. You should come back to West Virginia, since with such a great interest in our politics. We'd welcome you back, Florida man. Come on back.
Text says, did Chairman Pushkin attend the DNC meeting this past weekend where the new chair was selected? I couldn't pick him out of in the dance video.
Oh, I think a lot of videos were posted and were taken out of context. The meeting took about 13 hours. So at one point,
a lot of dancing.
No, at one point it was just like, come on, get up and stretch your legs. And while they were counting votes on one of the many elections that we had, it wasn't just about the DNC chair. It was the vice chair for civic engagement, which is a big role. It was about electing a treasurer, a finance chair. And DNC vice chairs at large. So there was a lot of different votes, and you have to get a 50% majority. You have to get over 50% of the votes in order. You can't just win with a plurality. So a lot of times it was multiple ballots. So it took a long time. So at one point, they played like one of those line dancing songs. I call it squadron dancing. Squadron dancing. They did a little squadron dance, and people took a video and took it out of context. It was simply about stretching your legs.
Well, it couldn't be any worse than what the Republicans have done with YMCA. And Trump's move with. Look up Bill Maher if you want to know what Trump's move is with that dance, and I'll just leave it at that. But it couldn't be any more. It could not be any worse or more horrific than watching that.
Yeah, I'm not going to read too much into that, and nobody should read too much into people getting up and stretching their legs at the DNC.
Dave, why do you shrug your shoulders at obvious authoritarian actions by the disgraced Trump and unelected bureaucrat Nazi Musk, who was brought in who bought his way to the White House. Tell us why it's great for inspectors general to be fired illegally, for FBI workers to be fired for investigating crimes, for 1,500 criminals to be released, and for political violence to be acceptable. Republicans have no integrity or honor. I don't think I said any of those things.
Did you?
Okay. I didn't. No, I don't.
I'm going to go back over a couple of weeks.
I don't think you've ever heard me defend Donald Trump on anything. Text says, Mike, stop the redundancy of how bad the policies of President Trump are. The people see how President Trump is repairing the damage of the Democratic administration.
Well, I think it's going to be extremely bad, especially for West Virginia, when you're freezing funding for projects that are going into this state, projects that everybody I know on the other side of the aisle just about wholeheartedly supported. Shelley Moore, Senator Capito was a champion of this hydrogen hub project. And now I'm not sure it's going to get done. I don't think it's going to. It is frozen because that appropriation didn't happen under Trump's watch. Now, I think it's illegal what he's doing. I think most folks who took a ninth grade civics class can tell you that there are three separate but equal branches of government.
Which is why it's going to the courts now.
And West Virginia should join in that case. I'll say it again.
Well,
it disproportionately hurts us. We should have a champion here in West Virginia who joins in on that case and fights for West Virginians. Anyway, the power of the purse resides in Congress. A spending bill starts in the House of Representatives. It is later approved through a conference committee with the Senate. The president cannot just stop spending.
All right, let me do this, and I will go to break. Says Dave. Please tell Mike Pushkin to relax. America finally has a competent president in the White House. Democrats are done in West Virginia and moving that way in the whole USA. Thanks.
I'm relaxed. I'm just concerned. I'm concerned about the person that sent that text. It's going to hurt them too.
All right. Vaccines are your best protection against severe disease from flu and COVID-19. If you're 65 or older, risk less, do more with the season vaccines. Get started at vaccines.gov, paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. Back after this on the Voice of Charleston, WCHS.
Brought to you by the Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses. Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses are small businesses with big impact, including Generations Physical Therapy and Snap Fitness.
As retirement approaches, are you confident in your financial plan? At 4th Avenue Financial, they specialize in helping you to prepare for this important milestone. Whether you're concerned about income, investments, or leaving a legacy, John Burdett provides personalized strategies to ensure a secure and fulfilling retirement. Don't leave your future to chance. Trust 4th Avenue Financial to help you retire right with confidence. Your financial goals, their expert guidance. Visit them today at 4thavenuefinancial.com.
Securities offered through Jenny B. Cole Financial Incorporated. Member FINRA SIPC. Advisory services offered through Jenny B. Cole Advisors Incorporated.
This new year, make your money work for you. Get started by taking advantage of MCWV FCU's limited time share certificate special. Right now, you can get a share certificate at 4.68% APY for 10 months. Don't miss out on this limited time offer. Get yours today at memberschoicewv.com or visit us at 201 Ohio Avenue in Charleston. MCWV FCU is federally insured by the NCUA. Additional restrictions may apply.
Your next ride, your next service can all be found here on the Thornhill Motor Mile. Thornhill Auto Group, located on US 119. From Chapmanville, Logan to Belfry, our large selection of vehicles offers you the brand and style you're looking for. Total service, total savings. Our Thornhill certified staff and technicians are always ready to assist you with your next vehicle purchase or service needs. Start your drive online at thornhillautomotive.com. Come visit us today on the Thornhill Motor Mile.
Now Taxes is 100% free when you file in the TurboTax app if you didn't file with us last year.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, just do your own taxes in the app by 2/18.
What if I have lots of forms?
All good, all 100% free.
What if I had 3 jobs?
Still 100% free.
What if I once saw Bigfoot?
That has nothing to do with taxes, so still 100% free.
Now that's what I'm talking about.
Now this is taxes. See if you qualify in the TurboTax app. Excludes TurboTax Live, must start and file in app by 2/18.
Biggly Piggly Wiggly hotline 304-345-5858. Tony Taylor text 304-935-5008. The Dave Allen Show on 580 Live, brought to you in part by Bridge Valley. Interested in improving your company's IT workforce? Know that they offer custom tailored IT training to bridge the skills gap. Visit bridgevalley.edu/apprenticeships today for more information. Text says, ask Pushkin why Ken Martin is a good pick. Martin has vowed only to accept money donations from good billionaires. Democrats should be trying to fight the oligarchy not to join it.
That's completely untrue. Ken Martin's a grassroots organizer, came up through the Paul Wellstone School of Organizing. You see the results that he's had in his home state, which wasn't always a given that Minnesota was going to. They have majorities in their House and their Senate. They have, of course, Governor Walz, and they've been able to pass a whole lot of legislation in Minnesota that helps people, whether it's school lunches or paid sick leave, things that actually help people, not corporations. Ken Martin is definitely not on the take from big corporations.
Text says Congress has the power of the purse. Actually, it's the House of Representatives, not Senate. But where was the outrage over the power of the purse during the multiple times Biden unconstitutionally forgave student loans over and over again, even after both the Supreme Court and Nancy Pelosi told him he did not have the power or authority to do so? The faux outrage is tired and played out. Oh, freezing spending, ends taxpayer-funded DEI programs in other countries. How funny that you leave that out, says a texter.
Okay, well, let's start at the beginning. First, if you roll back the tape, it's exactly what I said, that the power of the purse resides in the House of Representatives, and it is decided, and it goes through the Senate, through conference committees where they also have to approve it as well. Either way, it's unconstitutional what Trump is doing. As far as student loans, yeah, I agree with with President Biden. So our young adults shouldn't be starting off life in debt. I think most people agree with that. And I will always be on the side of working people over the sides of the big money lenders. And so if you take the opposite side of that, who really benefits from that? The big banks. I'd rather be on the side of the people. But Dave, what was the last part of the question about diversity, equity, and inclusion? Well, if you're against that, you're not. You're for for uniformity, inequity, and exclusion. So that's what that actually means. And it's not always about what you think it's about. It also means about hiring West Virginians. It means bringing people out of poverty. It means hiring people from certain socioeconomic backgrounds like we have a lot of here in West Virginia. So when you cut these programs, who you're really going to hurt? You're going to hurt poor working class West Virginians.
The Dave Allen Show on 580 Line brought to you in part by Snap Fitness. Wide selection of equipment, including free weights and more. Visit snapfitness.com for complete details. All right, quickly, on this situation with the delegate out of the Eastern Panhandle, where do we stand on that?
We filed a new, like last week, God, it seems like it was a year ago, we filed a new petition with the Supreme Court. We removed Speaker Hanshaw from the petition because he abused an old statute, says you can't take somebody to court during the session, even though the session starts on Wednesday, Mr. Speaker. But so we just went ahead and removed him from the petition. We just named the governor in the petition, and tomorrow is the deadline for the governor to respond. I think the law is very clear. There was a law that they passed back in 2018 that says the vacancy will be filled by the party that of the one who created the vacancy, the subject, the office holder, was in immediately prior to the vacancy being created, and he switched to the Democratic Party.
All right, and so you say
we should get to fill that seat. And we put up a list of 3 highly qualified, competent candidates for that seat, and we expect the governor to follow the law and choose from that list.
Is it going to end like over the next 24 hours, or are we going to?
I think the people of that district deserve to have some sort of answers there. Of course, the governor made the wrong decision, picked from the wrong list. We feel the vacancy was created in an unconstitutional and unlawful manner. And we'll see where it goes. We just want the Republicans to follow the law.
Got to leave it there. Delegate Mike Pushkin, I appreciate you being here, State Democratic Party Chair. TJ, what's going on in the big show? You got about 15 seconds.
Brad McElhaney at 10:06 on state revenue numbers and other things. We'll talk to State Fire Marshal Ken Tyree for the latest on that apartment fire in Logan. Coming up at 11:06, Jason Huffman with Americans for Prosperity on certificates of need. Amelia Nicely at 11:33. Always great to talk to her on student discipline test scores and foster care.
All right, we'll be looking forward to it. Gotta go. I will see you tomorrow. Till then, have fun and love somebody.
WCHS AM 96.5 FM Charleston, 104.5 Cross Lanes, a WVRC media station. We're proud to live here too.